Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Code Wars and Binary Life, where we solve algorithms and then we show you how the thinking process is done, and then you can see how the solutions come to life. Today, we're solving another 7Q kata called simple string characters. Now, let's read the exercise to understand. In this kata, you will be given a string, and your task will be to return a list of integers detailing the count of this and this and this. So we'll count multiple things. We'll count the uppercase, the lowercase. We'll count the uppercase, sorry, the lowercase, the numbers, and special characters. So we're going to count 4 things. And you can see this is a string that is given here. So we have 4 uppercase, that's A, B, C, G. We have 5 lowercase, this is it, A, B, C, G, E. We have 5 characters, that's 1 to 5. And we have 3 special characters. That's the quoting mark here, a quotation mark here. The asterisk, that's 2. And the simple quote. No, sorry. This double quote is part of the string. Actually, we have the star, the single quote, and ampersand. Those are the 3 special characters. Okay, I've not solved this before. I just look at the exercise and I wrote and I started my camera and we'll do the research together. So what should I do? I'll just copy this here so that we can have our full screen here and have in our view the exercise so that we can read it from time to time. Something like this. Right. Okay, so we count uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and special characters. So I'm going to just increase it again. All right, cool. So I'm going to create 4 variables so that let's make this easy. I'm going to create uppercase. And I'm going to initialize to 0. And then I'm going to do the same thing for lowercase. And I'm going to initialize to 0. And I'm going to count the numbers. Let's just call it nums. This will be equal to 0. And our special characters, let's just call it special, will be equal to 0 at the end. And then in the middle here, I'm going to write my logic code. And at the end, I'm going to return an array that is made up of those 4 values. So we have our uppercase. We'll have our lowercase. Let's just make it simple. Let's just call it lower, upper, lower. The nums and the special. So we have our 4 variables, and then we're going to be looping through our string. Let me just change the name of the variable to str. We're going to be looping through here and counting these occurrences and incrementing them progressively, and at the end of our logic we'll have to return this array. That is how our code will be breaking down. So the first thing we have to do is, how do we look for uppercase character? Now anytime something like this come up, there is regular expressions for things like that, and I don't know at the top of my head, but we'll go to Google and search together. So let's just say checking lowercase regex JavaScript. Yeah, all right, I'd already searched that before, that's why it appeared on my check. And I'm using DuckDuckGo as my default search engine, but you can use Google, no problem. We search, and yeah, we have something here, we have another one here. Let's just try this one. As a matter of fact, let's just go back. Most people like Stack Overflow. Let's just go there. Take a while for the internet connection. All right, so checking for any lowercase characters in a string. This is the problem. This is one way to check for it. I'm looking for something regular expression. This is it. checking if the string is lowercase here. The test. So let's just try this out in the Node.js console. So if I have a letter, let's just call it, my letter is L, and I put E inside, so I can check if it's a lowercase like this, A to Z. Dot test. I'm going to test our letter L, and that interval, it returns a true. Now if I change the L and put on uppercase, and I redo that test, it returns a false. So this thing works. I'm just going to copy that and come back to our code here and comment here, because, oh sorry, I did not copy. I'm going to copy this and paste, because I will use that logic. So basically, what do I have to do? I have to break down the string into an array and look through the characters and start testing if they are upper or lowercase. So what do I do? Let's come under the logic, and I'm going to take the string and convert to an array by splitting it, and then I'm going to look through using a for each loop for every character, for every letter that's inside. What am I going to do? I'm going to check if it's a lowercase by copying this. Like this. All right, if it's a lowercase, then I'll increment the lower, something like that. The same thing for uppercase. This should be the reverse, like A to Z, like this. I'm going to increment the upper. That's it. So I can cancel this. Now I guess number is about the same. Let's try for number. I guess it's from 0 to 9. False. Now if I take L and put the number there and run again the test, it returns true. So that checks the number too. So if it's a number 0 to 9, I'm going to increment this. No, what are we testing? We're not testing the string itself, we're testing the letter. So I'll replace all of this by letter. So if it's neither this nor this nor this, it means it's a special character. So I have to increment this. So I have to actually put this in multiple if else. So if else this comes up, else this other one comes up too. And the final else, that's where we just increment the spatial, something like that. And normally this should work. So let's try and see. I'm going to snap out of the full screen, and then I'll reduce this size character. All right, and then I'm going to run the tests. Test. It works. So the most important thing about this algorithm was getting the regular expression that does the testing of lowercase and uppercase and numbers. That's it. And I can attempt this. It passed, and then I'm going to submit so that we can see if there are other approaches to the solution. There are always other approaches. This is the same thing. This is our different regular expression. This is another one to check if it's a digit. Actually, this digit stands for digit. And if this is not a word, I guess. So he'll map every regular expression and increase the length. This is crazy. Well, let's just leave it at that. I don't get every part of it, but then. All right, this is another one. It's just the same like we did the if else, if else, if else. This is the same thing here. Crazy. This is match. This is another one, another way to test for regular expression using the match instead of the test like we did. Wow. So he's going to take the whole word and get all the uppercase letters there. So this, I think the match returns an array. Let's try this in a console apart and see. So let me declare a new string again and call it my word like this with 90. So if I take the string and I match like this for uppercase A to Z, I get something like this. If I add a GF for the whole group, I return just the array just to get this part. So this is the input. I have one capital letter. This is it. So it returns an array. So it means if we see something, we return the array. If not, we get an empty array. This one is to force it to return an array. Actually, I can do the same thing for lowercase letter like this. It returns an array of all the lowercase letter. You can see we have everything here except the W and the 90. That's it. So our test returns a boolean and match returns a sub array with the actual letters themselves. That's it. And then that is why he tests the word multiple times for uppercase, yeah, lowercase, yeah, numbers, yeah, special characters, yeah. And then since they all return array, he gets the different length. That's what's happening. And here for special characters, is going to match everything that is not a capital letter. That's where this cap comes from. What is not uppercase is not a number. And he would have added also not a small a lowercase, but he has added, but he has done it with the I here, which means ignore the case. That's it. So it means it's not lower uppercase, no lowercase, and it's not a number also. That means it's a special character. That's it. This one is cool actually. This one is something like us, but there's a lot of computation doing the actual lowercase. I think the regex should be faster. Wow, this is quite long. It actually really took the alphabet in order to be including and searching through. Well, if you don't know that regex exists, you have a tendency to use this approach. So he used the numbers to compare. He used the uppercase, he used the lowercase, and then everything that is not inside is a special character he includes, and then returns the array. But he could have done this much easier, write it in one line instead of. But this is a good beginner approach to the solution. This is actually a logical brain that uses the skills he has to solve the problem at hand. This is cool actually. All right, this is something like we did the match too. All right, guys, I'm going to stop here, and thanks for viewing, and don't forget to subscribe for future algorithms, and see you on another coding challenge.